Hello. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi. I'm Josh Polsky, editor-in-chief of The Verge, and welcome to On The Verge. I hope you're ready to have a devilishly good time tonight. We've scared up some ghoulish, oh, screw this. I really wanted to do a Halloween show. We had one planned for the 30th, and we had to move it because of the hurricane. That's what the smoke was for. It kind of looked like, actually looked like something was on fire, not like a, I said I wanted to look like a graveyard. That didn't really happen. Anyhow, yeah, we did have to move the show. As you know, a hurricane hit New York and Jersey and all over the place. A very bad hurricane named Sandy. And I just want to tell you guys, if you want to do something about it, you can go to the redcross.org. You can donate some money. They're probably taking blood. I mean, I don't know how they do that over the internet, but I understand it can be done. Anyhow, but so we had to move the show, and we thought, let's pick a day where nothing's happening. Let's just find a day. There's nothing going on in the news. We can just have this all to ourselves. And we thought November 6th is going to be great. It's going to be perfect for us. And I think you'll agree we chose correctly. Anyhow, there's an election happening right now, which is exciting. But we have a big show. We have an exciting show, and I'm really glad that you guys are here. Apparently, we're live streaming this, they've told me, which is terrifying. So if anything happens that seems like it was a mistake, that's part of the show. And we are very good at faking stuff. So we have a great show. The CEO of Foursquare is here, Dennis Crowley. We're going to talk about the, we're going to talk about Foursquaring, whatever that is, gamifying. I understand it's very exciting. Some of our friends from Polygon are here, Russ Frushstick and Chris Plant. We're going to be talking about, we're talking about video games and emotions. It's going to be very heavy stuff. And Paul and Nilay are here. Of course, Paul went to NASA. He went to Maker Faire. We've got some videos from that stuff, and they're very cool. I think you guys will enjoy it. And if you don't, that's tough. We did our best. So we should probably get underway. I want to say the show tonight is presented by Samsung. So give them a round of applause. They help us put this on. And on an unrelated note, we're giving away 3 Galaxy Note 2s tonight. So some of you guys will leave with a device, and many of you will leave with nothing. As usual. So I think that's it. We should just get started. So let's do this. Yes. It's a big week, as you know, and we had there's a bunch of news this week. There's been a bunch of news this month. In fact, I don't even know why I'm telling you about all the news when I could just be talking about it with Paul Miller and Nilay Patel. So please welcome Paul Miller and Nilay Patel. Yes. How are you?
So excited.
So good to see you.
Good to see you.
Just go right there. Just right there. Just hold right there. Okay, good. All right.
I feel like we cuddle a lot.
That was weird. I don't know why you did that.
That was normal, right? That's normal
I don't know
stuff.
why you did that when we would have just done it on our own.
Yeah. You don't have to force me to cuddle Nilay Patel.
Do normal people touch like that? That they do, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'll take that just weird, like the, you know when there's silence in a room when it's actually the sound has been removed, it's not just like people aren't saying anything. That's what's happening right now. So as you know, first off, hi.
Hey.
How are you?
Good.
So I just mentioned that there's an election, there's the election going on right now in America, the presidential election.
It's over.
The candidates are, it's a heated, hotly contested race.
Yeah.
Barack Obama, the current president,
Yes.
and his rival, Mitt Romney, the guy who wants to be president.
Mid-ER.
Anyhow, so we realized that even though we're streaming this live now, we realized that many people would see this after the election, and the president will have already been decided.
Yes.
And there are things we want to talk about as far as the president is concerned and technology. Mm-hmm. So we thought we'd just run through whoever wins. We'd do one for each. We'd talk about their views on technology and talk about them having won the election, what it means.
Yeah.
And then we'll just edit it.
Right. And then in retrospect, we'll seem smart.
It will seem like we had a great talking point about the winner of the election. So let's just do that now. So The election is over, and the winner has been decided. Barack Obama is returning as president. He's returned as president.
What? Barack Obama.
He's returned. Barack Obama has.
Barack Obama. Do you want me to do it?
Can we get some help? This would. At this moment, there was supposed to.
Wow.
God, Obama is so amazing.
Nilay, do you want to switch seats with me?
No, I do not.
Have you ever seen confetti explode right towards your face? That was horrible.
That was really.
Anyhow, Barack Obama has
I'm so excited. It's like I'm frightened.
has won a second term in office. And Nilay, you wrote an editorial about how you were voting for Obama because he is for net neutrality.
I did.
What do you think what is going to happen in the next 4 years? How do you think Obama's next 4 years, which he won in the election, how do you think those will affect?
Which he conclusively won.
Which he conclusively won in the election many days ago. How will that affect our lives?
You know, this would be better if I had a small American flag to wave around.
Oh yeah. Wait a second. Sorry. Here you are.
And I have one too. I listened to what he said.
I forgot all about that.
You know, when I think about America and I think about the next 4 years with Barack, my buddy, you know, I think about the future of the internet and I think about the future of our company.
Yes.
And you know, the thing to me is that net neutrality is the only issue at which I care about.
Is it you're a single?
That's really sad.
Yeah, but people are single issue voters.
Yeah, Nilay, there are people in America without jobs right now.
Yeah, and they should get jobs on the internet.
On the internet, yes. If only we had net neutrality, we would have everybody would have a job.
Yeah,
Right.
so that's the serious point, is that there's a secondary economy on the internet, and the companies that provide access to the internet want to be the gatekeepers to that economy. And I don't think that they should be allowed to do that.
Right, and if you guys haven't read this editorial that he wrote, it's quite good. And it basically, I mean, you know, you might agree or disagree on lots of different things when it comes to these guys. But I mean, I think a lot of people who work or at least spend a lot of their time on the internet, you know, we think, and I'm sure you guys here think, and everybody watching, net neutrality is important. It's important to find a way to have a free and open internet that everybody can compete on and that everybody can use. And
you know what I think is really interesting is that when I do other editorials and I criticize AT&T or Comcast or Verizon, nobody ever like disagrees with me.
nobody ever death threats you.
Yeah, nobody ever is like, you're dumb and you should be shot.
Right.
But when I say you should vote in a way that supports those editorials, then the death threats come. Then those people find you.
Hard and fast.
Yes. They want to murder you.
Let me tell you where Nilay lives. He lives in Brooklyn.
I actually went there the other day and I slipped a death threat just right under.
Like, hey.
I couldn't email him.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul. I think this is even a place where obviously we have, you know, Paul and I, and perhaps Nilay and Paul have differing viewpoints on some political items, all of them. But you're a net neutrality believer. You believe in net neutrality, or am I putting words in your mouth?
You're putting words in my mouth.
You hate net neutrality.
Yeah. I'm always scared of regulating companies, especially regulating somebody in the name of freedom, because I think sometimes you end up picking winners. So I don't really know too well where either candidate was on net neutrality, because I voted on other topics.
Other non-net neutrality.
Yeah.
topics.
You had multiple other single issues.
Yeah, I have, yes, I'm a single issue voter and far other.
In multiple categories.
It's very confusing up here.
Yeah.
But I voted,
sure.
and net neutrality was not the reason I voted. But it's still important.
So
it's important we figure it out.
So how do you think the next 4 years are going to fare under Barack Obama?
Well, now that Barack Obama has been elected president again.
Yeah.
As we definitely know.
As we just found out for 4 years.
As we've known for a few days.
I think the internet's going to be kind of in a stasis. I think we're going to have this back and forth argument. I don't think we're going to figure, at least for the next couple of years. I don't really know what it's going to look like past that. But I think we're kind of in this holding pattern, and we're going to argue. I think people still need to figure out what the words net neutrality mean, because both sides use that term.
They don't anymore.
Oh, really?
They just call it network.
Well, we got to move on because we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Give me those flags.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Let's clean this off. Let's get this. All right. Okay. All right. Let me put these here like so. Okay. All right.
Good.
Wait, let me just move that there. Okay.
That didn't work at all.
Anything away here?
You ready? Okay, good. You ready? Good. You know how to do this now?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's been a big week in news, big month in news, and of course we just had the election, the presidential election, and a bit of a shocking result.
Yeah.
Mitt Romney has been elected.
Yes!
Mitt Romney
I'm cheering success on so many different levels.
Mitt Romney has been elected the next president, 45th? 45th president of the United States. He's going to be gliding on into the White House.
Yeah.
That slick back hair. And anyhow, Nilay recently wrote an editorial about net neutrality and why he was voting for Barack Obama, and I believe did.
Yeah, Nilay, what do you think about?
Yeah, how do you feel now that we've been beaten?
Now that it's had time to sink in.
Yeah.
God, this would be so much easier if I had a small American flag.
Oh, you know what? Let me actually just pass one of these down, would you?
Thank you.
We are right there.
You know, I waved this flag in sadness today.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I believe that we should move forward and not backwards. And onto the internet.
Yeah.
And not onto a highway, not off the internet, online.
So you're saying that
not offline.
Whoever's the president of the United States, which we've just found out is Mitt Romney,
Definitely
should
Romney.
use the internet.
Yes. Should tweet.
But Nilay, your premise of your editorial was that Mitt Romney is against net neutrality, that he would partner with, or he would not partner with, but he would stand for the rights of AT&T and Verizon and Comcast over the rights of American citizens to have access, free and open access, and competing businesses on the internet. And now we're living in a world where Mitt Romney is the president,
definitely the president,
was elected president of America,
Today.
of the United States of America.
Happened.
And so what do you think can happen in the next 4 years?
You know, I don't think Mitt Romney thinks that we should side with AT&T and Comcast. I think he believes that there is a free market that exists that will achieve good things.
Can you get a little flag waving while you're doing that?
I don't believe that market exists. I don't think that people have a real choice for their home broadband. I think people in New York who have Time Warner Cable would tell you that Time Warner Cable does not feel the pressure of competition. I think people have AT&T and have to upgrade to a mobile share plan to get FaceTime.
What's the opposite of pressure of competition? Because that's what Time Warner
glorious freedom to squeeze you for profit.
Monopoly, glorious monopoly.
You know, I don't think companies in their hearts want to compete.
Right.
I think you have to make them.
You think Mitt Romney will keep those policies in place that are letting them dominate and monopolize?
Yeah, I mean, I think you already see it. And
Paul, you're a Mitt Romney supporter. Your thoughts in the next 4 years?
Well, I just think we're going to find out now that he's president.
You don't have any other thoughts on that?
We're going to find out.
All right. Well, we've got to move on. It was an exciting election, and I'm just a little sad to find out that
flag to sweep?
Romney. No, I don't think so. Give me that back. Thank you.
I remember in the Boy Scouts.
Well, we've got a lot of other news to talk about. A lot of other news. A lot of other things.
Yeah.
It's a really festive surface.
Let's move along. Just put these here, like so. There's other big news.
There's a lot going on.
Lucasfilm. Do you guys know about this? Lucasfilm selling to Disney and making more Star Wars films. 7, 8, 9,
right.
and I learned this today.
They're
following the story of Jar Jar Binks as he becomes a Sith Lord.
Sith Binks.
Sith Binks. It goes very dark, I'm told.
Yeah.
Very dark.
Can I ask this audience a question? What do you feel more trepidation about? Your candidate losing the presidency, or Disney making more Star Wars films?
Definitely the Star Wars.
Like, it's definitely Star Wars. Like, everyone's more worried about that, like destroying the United States, than either Mitt Romney or Barack Obama.
Wait, you're more worried about Disney making a Star Wars film than you're worried about George Lucas making another Star Wars film?
Ooh.
But I think he knew not to do it. You know?
No, he did. No,
that's like GW running for a third term. He's like, nope, not going to do that.
All right, I'm not going to.
All right.
But he made more. You think he would have stopped?
Yes.
He's probably like, I'll do this deal, but you have to promise to make more. And here, he's like a 1,000-page thing. He pushed towards them. He's like, here's the way I see it going.
Yeah.
Big focus on Jar Jar. Sith Binks. Anyhow, so in other news, we celebrated our first birthday.
We did.
The Verge.
1 year.
Yes, thank you. Why am I squinting?
No. More tepid applause, please.
Yeah, we celebrated our first.
Yeah. Where's the third one?
That's the third one.
Here we go.
We have a real problem on this show getting
Congratulations, Nilay.
Getting those confetti
You built
cannons.
good website.
Anyhow,
Good
so
job.
a year. I didn't think we'd make it a month, to be honest with you. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
And I feel like at any moment it can be taken away from us. Much like the election was taken away from Barack or Mitt, depending on which edit we use. What are your favorite memories from the last year? Do you have any favorite memories?
I think it's Paul quitting the internet for 6 months.
That's your favorite
that
memory?
happened. No, I mean that's.
You're like, when I knew Paul and I wouldn't have to talk every day.
Well, you know, I think that's part of my favorite memories. We've had the opportunity to do what look and feel like crazy things.
Yes, they are. They
chase kind of big ideas, and Paul leaving the internet is definitely one of them.
That's a big one. I mean, we do this, which is crazy. Has been crazy.
We released the Surface.
We released the Surface after a lot of R&D, live development on this baby. I worked hard on this touch cover.
We lied to people's faces about who is currently the president of the United States.
Or did we? But anyhow, but
Barack Romney.
I have to say, I will say,
a lot of disappointed laughs.
I would just like to say about our first birthday that when we started, I really didn't know if what we were trying to do would work.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think we reinvented the wheel or anything. I think we were just trying to make something really good that we were proud of and that other people really liked. And I have to say that to have done it for a year and to have had success and to have seen our numbers grow and our readership grow and people liking it and loving it. I was at the airport in LA a couple of weeks ago and somebody randomly came up to me and they were like, hey, you're the dude from The Verge. Like, I read the site every day. And it was insane and incredible to me that, like, people out in the world are reading what we do. And so I just want to, like, thank whoever's watching live and you guys in the audience here and anybody else. Give yourselves a round of applause because you're, without you really applauded for yourselves longer than anything else. But without the audience, which has grown and grown and is amazing, like we would be nothing. And so like it's all thanks to people who want to read this stuff.
And you know what's really, and I think, whenever we try to do something that's very different and crazy, when we're like, let's let Trent take Adderall for a month.
Well, we didn't tell him to take Adderall. He was just doing that.
We didn't tell him.
Yeah, I mean,
but like, and let's write about that, or let's post an editorial about who I'm voting for. And like we take these risks. No, but like when we do things that are way outside the box, there's a lot of feedback, and it's
people like it. They eat it up. I will say the one thing that's been most exciting is that when we think to do something and it's like this seems weird and maybe people won't be into it, our audience is always like, we love this. Keep
we're making a website that we would want to read, and it's just so awesome that other people want to read it.
Yeah. So. But we have done a lot of like straight up news coverage recently.
Yes.
And we should talk about some of it. As you know, like the Surface just came out. There's been a ton of gadgets released recently. Surface just came out. This is the Nexus 4. This is the Nexus 10. This is the new Google products. This thing here, which somebody spilled water on, was the iPad Mini. Here's what used to be the Lumia 920, which somebody also spilled some kind of liquid on. Nilay, I'm not naming names.
There's something about this bright colors that makes something look waterproof, even if it's not.
Yeah, right. Well, they're not. But this is really soaked. Okay, it's fine. It's no big deal. It's a review unit. But it's more than this. Like with the release of Windows 8, things have got, like, this is a wacky form factor. Like we know tablets and we know phones. Like these are kind of familiar to us now. This is getting a little bit weird, and we actually have a bunch of new Windows 8 devices that we brought with us that we kind of want to show how people are kind of pushing their boundaries on design a little bit. So let's walk over to, we have a gadget table. Let's walk over to it
Let's be honest
and take a look. Yeah.
I just clapped for our gadget table.
So they're all sleeping.
They're all sleeping.
They're all asleep. Well, tell us about these gadgets, Nilay.
God, I love Windows 8.
So these are all Windows 8 devices.
They're all Windows 8. So no, here's the thing. So all the stuff we saw on the desk they're tablets and phones. They've been tablets and phones for a while, 4 or 5 years. Some of them, now they come in colors, right? I mean, that's the crazy thing about them. But the crazy thing...
That's very exciting to me. Yeah. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like we went through this with the iMac, where somebody was like, you can put a color on a computer. Did you know? You can just put it if you want.
Yeah.
And then everybody's like, hey, colors, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And now, like, we forgot all about it, and everything was beige.
Well, we definitely forgot about that with PCs. And PCs have been beige.
Well, Apple kind of forgot about it for a while, too. They're back into colors.
A little bit.
No. Oh, they have new...
Oh, the iPods, but, whatever. Yeah. They're iPods.
All right.
But the thing about PCs is that Windows 8, because they've actually grafted a touchscreen on Windows 8 for real, they're allowed to do crazy things. So obviously you have the Surface. There it is. It's got a type cover. And we've seen, and I think this is Microsoft saying, like, here's what we think PCs should look like. But the thing about Windows 8 is that the other companies get to do whatever they want too. So here's ASUS. That's true, right? They just sell the license.
Did you get that? There are no rules anymore.
So here's ASUS, and they did the Transformers with Android.
So this is actually a Windows 8. Is this a
Windows 8
RT or regular Windows 8? This is RT. Yep. So and it has you can just
you can just break it any way you want. You can do it, man. Look at how strong it is what I'm trying to show you.
Anyhow,
this is right here.
Oh, there's a latch. Okay. I actually think this is the winning form factor for these things. Like, it's a tablet. This is kind of like an iPad.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's got this thing which you can throw in a bag, which is, it's okay, it's not as thin.
The keyboard's a little small.
Yeah, but it's also a battery.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great.
No,
it is smaller. The keys. Yeah.
I need a little
But it's like,
room.
So I don't know. So the thing about this and the Surface is that these are 16:9.
Right.
And I think
they're a little big.
This is really silly for me in tablet.
Well,
but
could be a lot worse.
Yes.
Could be a lot worse, Nilay.
Allow me to show you.
What size screen is this?
This is like a 13.3 Toshiba, and this looks like a tablet. It's huge, but it turns into a laptop like that, and then it does that, which is, this is crazy. And the amount of engineering they have to do. If you look at this hinge, it's got like tracks. It's got springs.
I think this is the thing that's most exciting is that people are finally innovating on hinges.
Yeah.
And this is just great.
Well, no, it's like there was a moment in phones where they innovated crazy on hinges. And then they're like, hinges are a bad idea.
Now I'm reading a book, just comfortably one-handed reading. And then I got an incoming call. After 5 years, that gag somehow still.
Every
you put
time.
anything huge up to your ear? Hello?
It says you're not connected in giant letters.
That is true. That is true. But it's a touchscreen.
Yeah, Sean reviewed this thing. It's interesting. This is like the explosion of ideas of how computers should look.
I wish it did more folding.
Well, the thing with all of these to me is like you're supposed to touch them, but the hinge is here, so it's like that didn't work.
And that's not great. I feel like you're forcing that a little bit.
The thing that scares me about this reminds me of like the original tablet PC era, like Windows Tablet Edition sort of computers.
Whenever they're just like doctors.
Yeah, you've got a stylus, and they're just a little. It's a little.
Well, this thing is like this is a really great movie prop. It's like, hello.
I've got a call. Hello, a call's coming in.
So that's Toshiba.
All right, but this is your favorite.
This is my favorite.
You love this.
Love is a strong word. This is the Yoga from Lenovo.
The Yoga.
So it's a tablet, but it has maybe the smartest hinge where it just turns into a laptop. And then it's a laptop.
It's better when you show this, just so you understand what's happening with this particular.
You fold it all the way back.
This is a 15-inch display. It's a touchscame?
Yeah.
It's a touchscreen. And then it does,
no, it's just the worst tablet in the world.
And then it does that.
Right.
Right? Seems comfortable, right?
But then you've got a keyboard, and it's weird because you're holding.
Come on, guys. Seriously, like who here, show of hands, would use it like this? Literally two. One guy was like, just kidding. He was like the third guy, and he was like, I don't think so. So like, here's what's cool. I think, let me just do this. Can I? There we are. Let me just put this like so. These guys. I think what's really great is that people are innovating on hinges and form factors.
Right.
But I just don't think I don't know if any human beings really want to do that. And that's the problem.
I think Microsoft has the best idea.
I actually think the Surface is of all. I think this kind of the Asus is getting there.
It's close. Yeah.
Keyboard's a little small, but I think this is closer.
This is what's strange is that an operating system is. That's why these manufacturers are like, we can try our wildest ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
And they send the designers like into a room, they do acid, and they're like, we'll fold it all the way back.
Well, you know, I mean, as we know, Microsoft, they primed the pump.
Maybe they opened their minds.
They primed the pump with the Surface.
Yeah, they did yoga,
now-
and they're like, we'll call it.
All right, and that's our gadget section of the show. We have a video.
Yep.
Paul went to NASA, and he became an astronaut. He went into outer space, and he found aliens. And we have it on video. So take a look at this. We'll be right back with Dennis Crowley from Foursquare.
Americans don't fly spaceships anymore. We catch a ride with Russia. Commercial spaceflight is awesome, and it's doing really well, and it might get American humans in American vehicles up soon, but it might take NASA a decade to build its own capsule and get astronauts back in space. So what happens now at NASA? What is happening now? I'm here at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, Texas, opening the doors to shed light on the future of human space travel. So this is Robonaut 2. He's a collaboration between NASA, GM. There's a guy almost exactly like this up in space right now. This is in Houston, and NASA tests out new routines, new behaviors. Then they ship them over to another lab where they have an exact replica of Robonaut that's on the space station, where they finalize the routine. Then they beam that up to space, and they do it for real.
Well, the whole idea behind Robonaut is to provide an assistant for crew. A Robonaut could work side by side with the crew, like a nurse to a doctor, or it can also take down all the tools and everything, all the infrastructure after a particular task is completed. I think it's important to keep in mind that Robonaut is a tool. Many people talk about science fiction robots and how they can go and do things on their own. Robonaut has been designed specifically to be a tool for people. It only does what we tell it to do, and it's been designed with the safety and the reliability to be a useful tool around people, not to go off and do anything on its own.
I'm just going to show you a quick little scene from National Treasure 3. At the start of the movie, Nicolas Cage is sent to space using one of the Russian vehicles that currently takes astronauts to space because the space shuttle's been decommissioned. And he's looking for the lost US Constitution, and unknown to the other astronauts, sends Robonaut outside the space station to retrieve the Constitution. And so Robonaut can fold back the thermal blanket that's hiding the US Constitution, and Nicolas Cage back inside the space station, because Nicolas Cage doesn't know how to spacewalk. He's like, oh, thanks, Robonaut. I will take the US Constitution to the President of the United States and ask him, why did you hide this in the space station?
Well, why don't you look in the envelope?
Why don't you look at the envelope? It's not the Constitution, it's just the photo. So this is called the Robo Glove, an exoskeleton for your hand. It's basically designed to help you grab things and make you stronger.
In the glove itself, here on the thumb, we have something called a force sense resistor. We actually actuate the tendons, and we pull them down and then release them when you let go of the FSR.
Okay.
And that's what gives you the extra power to lift an object, like a heavy weight or something.
Right.
So
but
now,
I can lift heavy weights all my life. I guess I want you guys to know. Very capable of lifting heavy weight.
sure.
I'm here with front of the multi-mission
space exploration vehicle.
And so this is a capsule with a dead body mounted to the outside. No, so explain, you're telling me this is like a modular system.
So that's where multi-mission comes in. The chassis is effectively a robot. This robot has wheels and that moves around.
Okay.
The payload is the cabin.
So can I drive it?
Yeah, let's hop in.
All right. So what do? I'm the pilot now?
You're the pilot, so pretty much push the stick in the direction you want to travel and the vehicle will do what it needs to do to get there.
Here we go.
you'll notice we're not just tipping into it. So right now, if you were outside, you'd see it forcing this right wheel down into that hole.
This is incredible. This is really incredible. It doesn't make any sense. It's just like I'm going in a weird random direction and I'm floating and I'm bobbing.
The computer itself won't allow you to do things that are going to jeopardize the safety of the robot. As you're going over the hill, you're starting to pick up more speed because your vehicle weighs a lot. But the wheels notice that and say, well, I'm only getting a command of 1 meter per second, and it slows you down. So you maintain that speed.
Oh, man. I just feel like it's like just getting me out of a pinch every time.
That is the
I'm
goal.
just being rescued, basically, by a robot.
We can venture over to Mars if you want.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm sick of the moon. Can we go through the water?
Yeah.
Yes. I think there's life down there.
I saw a dragonfly.
Not anymore. That's our C300. It's a $16,000 camera. I'm gonna run over it. I'm gonna close my eyes and you're gonna tell me go straight and you tell me when to stop.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, push your stick forward.
My eyes are closed, stick is forward.
All right, we're doing it.
Oh
It's looking good.
Oh my gosh.
It's probably not quite center, but close enough. I think we made it.
$16,000.
I don't see anybody in the cameras crying.
It's okay. It's
All right,
okay.
we probably had to back off.
Hey, you should look at the rear view camera. This is the space vehicle mock-up facility where they have space vehicle mock-ups within the facility. This is Orion. This is NASA's next generation space capsule. So this is how we would get back from the moon or Mars or wherever we go next. This is how we land back on Earth. But you could live in here for a while. 4 people could be in here if they really liked each other, could be in here for 21 days. Basically, this room is awesome. And I'm gonna live here. NASA, Johnson Space Center, Visitor, Miller Paul Josiah, expires Wednesday, October 7th, that's today. Some say space is the final frontier, and you know, that's a final frontier, that's a lot. It's like in Little House on the Prairie when they moved to the little cabin in the big woods, but that wasn't far enough. So they moved further to the Little House on the Prairie. And, and then one day we found an ocean. Who knew? An ocean. On the whole other side of the country, there's an ocean this whole time. And I think space is like that. The scientists that I met today in Houston at NASA they're working on human spaceflight. We are not there yet, but we're working on it. And that's cool.
I have to say, I am very jealous of Paul for getting to go on that trip. It's very cool stuff, and Paul is he's really good at that. He's really good at going and doing things, and I envy that. All right, we shouldn't waste any more time. I want to bring out our first guest. Please welcome the CEO of Foursquare, Dennis Crowley. Watch your step. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, yeah.
Be very careful. It's like we try to make it kind of like difficult for people to get over. You got to step over that thing, you got to step up, and that arm is broken.
Yeah, it's a little mini obstacle course for sure.
We brought back the broken arm sofa just for you. Dennis, thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show. I'm psyched to be here.
Well, it really is our pleasure to have you. And you're here in New York. You're based in New York.
Yeah, we're down in, we have offices down in Soho.
And now would you say, now I want to talk a little bit about, I want to get into the roots of Foursquare, but first I want to talk about the East Coast, West Coast startup battle. And, you know, it's gotten very heated. Can you trash talk Silicon Valley at all for us right now and talk about how much better New York is for startups?
I'll tell you, I think I like the New York scene a lot, right? Because there's just a lot more people here. There's like 8 million people here versus, I don't know how many people are in San Francisco, but
15, 20.
But yeah, considerably fewer than, right? And then on top of that, like the thing I like about building a tech startup in New York is that, you know, tech is not the most important thing here. It's like 5th down on the list. We've got like, you know, fashion and finance and media and publishing and advertising and pretty much everything else except for tech. And tech is like way down at the bottom. And so when you meet people out and you ask them to beta test the things that you're building or get excited about the stuff you're building, like, they're just regular people.
Yeah.
And so like they're not early adopters. And it's really, I think it makes it much easier to kind of build things in this environment.
Like you're not like, hey, I'm doing Foursquare. You can check in place. You become mayor place. They're like, oh, I'm using a different thing that does exactly that.
I have my own startup that does that.
Yeah, no, my startup is actually doing that, so I can't really test it. That is a thing, though. I mean, it is. You don't have like a million different startups all trying to do similar things here. It's like there's a few. I feel like New York startups, and maybe, you know, because we're sort of like part of like a publishing startup. Really, I am biased, but I feel like there's something a little bit more like the startups here are much more real. Like they're real things. Like they involve either real world activities or they're things that you actually need for your life.
Yeah, it's
versus like stuff like, hey, what if we had Yelp for shoes?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that's Yelp, isn't it? I don't really know.
Well, there's like, you know, there's like a smaller pool of them here. So like you look at the big ones, and you know, we're one of the biggest ones here, and then you've got, you know, your Tumblrs and your Etsy's and your Kickstarters and your Meetups. And it's just like a smaller pool to compare yourself with. And when you look at like the big startups that are out west, you know, it's like, well, not just the big tech companies. You've got your Googles and your Facebooks and your Twitters and your Apples. And it's just like a different breed of big tech company.
Right.
So.
But I mean, but Facebook and Twitter, they've kind of graduated to a different sphere of, they're not like a startup.
Yeah, but when you think of like,
and you're in that sphere too.
Yeah, I mean, like
you're not really even a startup.
We're like 150 people, right?
Like 150 years old.
Yeah, exactly, right. So like out west, I think that's still considered relatively small.
Right. But
we're one of the bigger players in the New York tech scene, right? And so it's like a different you know, distinction of scale, I guess.
So to recap. The West Coast startup scene lame, East Coast startup scene awesome. Is that what I'm hearing? Can we quote you? I quote you on that. Okay,
I don't want to poo-poo the West Coast because we have an office out there.
Yeah,
got like
shut it down. You're wasting your time.
Yeah.
So I actually want to talk about the beginnings of Foursquare. Foursquare was not Foursquare originally.
Foursquare was like, you know, if you go way back in the day, it's you know, it's me building software for my friends that got laid off from my very first .com job.
Which was what?
Actually my second job. So I worked at a company called Jupiter Research, in which I was the guy like making PowerPoint slides. And then I worked at...
that was your job? You were just like...
I was pretty much...
Look at this awesome arrow.
Pretty much, like making slides for other people to give during presentations and things. And then I worked at a mobile like product shop called Vindigo that was building city guides for Palm Pilots. And then I was at this company, Vindigo, I really got bit by the bug of, hey, you can make stuff during the day, and you know, you go out at night and you see people using the stuff that you were working on during the day, and they're using it on their Palm Pilots, and like that was kind of a big deal. I know Palm Pilot's like super old school, but I mean, I was like, oh my God, like if you build stuff during the day and you see people using it at night, like that's incredibly rewarding. And so this idea of just building stuff that my friends would use and building stuff that I want to use, I just got really kind of bit by that bug.
Right.
And you know, so the first version of Dodgeball ended up coming out of that. We ended up.
Can you explain Dodgeball a little bit for people who don't know what it is?
Yeah, Dodgeball is. You know, I don't know, I can't remember how we used to pitch it back in the day, but it was just like a basic friend finder for text messaging. And so, you know, this is before you had GPS and phones or color screens or apps in general. But, you know, anywhere that my friends in New York would go out, you would just send a text message to like nyc@dodgeball.com and say, I'm at the Magician, I'm at Tom and Jerry's, I'm at Central Park. And then that message would get rebroadcast. To all of your friends.
Right.
Yeah, we had like a poor man's little social network built into it, and like it didn't work.
It was SMS based.
It was SMS, yeah. But it didn't work because like no one really kind of knew what social networks were. This is back in like 2001. People didn't know what social networks were. Like text messaging barely worked, and we kept trying to like resurrect the idea. We did it after Friendster kind of hit pseudo mass market, and it's like, oh, now we can explain it as it's like Friendster for cell phones. And then we tried to resurrect it again when we were at NYU and did it with, then we ended up bringing it to Google. And, I feel like now, a couple years later, some of those ideas are a little bit more in the right time, right place.
Right.
Like the devices are more mature. Like everyone here knows about apps on your phone. You all know that you have GPS. Like everyone here has phones that can do these things. And so we're just, it's just a much larger audience.
But you've been trying to do you've essentially been trying to do something like Foursquare, or been trying to do Foursquare for a very long time.
Yeah,
Foursquare, what is the year for Foursquare started?
We started 2009.
Right, and even so way before that though, you were kind of trying to find a way to say, hey, I'm at a place.
Yeah, because
tell people about it.
Yeah, I'd say you could. It goes back to 2001 or so.
Right, which is insane.
Yeah, but it barely worked. We had 15 people using it.
You really, really want people to know where you are.
Well, it's just it makes meeting up with people easier and more fun.
Right. So Foursquare was a few years ago. Everybody talked about Foursquare as it was we're gamify everything. We're going to gamify our lives. Foursquare is one of these things where it's I get achievements for doing stuff that I'm doing anyhow.
Yeah.
I can become the mayor of somewhere. I can get badges for stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that stuff is all still baked into Foursquare, but it seems like the last couple of years, certainly the last year, things have been moving towards not just about, hey, I got an achievement or I'm the mayor of something, but Foursquare is going to be an engine for finding things.
Yeah, for discovery.
For discovery and getting recommendations.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the shift, or if there is a shift, and what that means to you?
I don't really see it so much as a shift, right? So, what we're trying to do, the kind of essence of Foursquare, is how do you use software to encourage people to go out and to have experiences that they haven't had before, right? And a big part of that is the recommendation engine that we've got, a whole bunch of data scientists working, crunching the 3 billion check-ins to make these recommendations happen in real time. And there's another part of that. We weren't able to do that in the early days. We just didn't have the team and the talent. We weren't sophisticated enough to do that. In the early days, we were using basic game mechanics, like the badges that probably most of the people in this room know about, where it's can we use software to encourage people to go to places that they haven't been to before. Initially it was, I live in the East Village, and there's a bar that I always go to called 7B, and it was this is just my default place. How do you make a piece of software that encourages me to go to some place I haven't been before, to bring my friends there, to go to another borough, to travel uptown, to get a group of people together and do something none of us have done before? And can you make a game out of that? And can that, if you make the game, if you design the game well enough, can it encourage people to do those types of things?
Right.
And we're finding that a lot of that stuff works. The game mechanics have worked pretty well in Foursquare. If you level up in coffee, it's hey, I'm a level 6 coffee person because I've been to 30 different places in New York. People feel some kind of sense of accomplishment over that.
Right.
Hey, I unlocked the gym rat badge for going to the gym, 10 times out of a 30-day period. That stuff, it kind of works, right?
Do you ever feel I'm going to get a little bit deep on you here.
Do
you ever feel the idea of gamifying for adults who going to a bar is a very adult activity, right?
Yeah.
Do you ever feel that and I'm sure you have a wonderful response to this, but do you ever feel in some way gamifying things that we normally do is a way of infantilizing us, it kind of making us, I don't play, in my daily life, I don't think of the things I do as an achievement that I need to unlock or a game that I have to play. Is there something about taking tasks or things that we do recreationally and turning them into a game that in some way diminishes their value or their importance, or does that?
Well, I think there's a big difference between trying to turn everything into a game and try to make everything playful. Right, so I don't ever think of Foursquare as a game, right? There's game mechanics in there, but I think of it as there's been all these just utilities, things that will help you do stuff on the internet for a long time. And it's we should make those things more fun. They should be fun to use and fun to interact with. And so that's where a lot of the game mechanics come from. I want to make, everyday interactions of going to the same restaurant, commuting every day, traveling in between cities. I want to make that stuff feel playful and rewarding. It doesn't have to be a game, but I think it's important to note the distinction.
You think that do you think as people, as humans, we need to be rewarded for doing? I mean, is that something that you think is baked into our DNA, that we want to be rewarded or we need to be rewarded?
I don't think rewards come in different sizes and shapes. Every time that you get a like on Instagram, that's being rewarded. That's the little bit of a dopamine hit.
Right.
And I feel
it's
that's a multiplayer version of it, right? Because you post something and then your friends interact with it, and that's 2 players interacting. The Foursquare stuff was designed to be more 1 player. You do something in the real world, and Foursquare rewards you for doing that. And so, a badge, a mayor unlock, you get a tip that tells you about something you should order at a restaurant. Those are all little dopamine hits in the same type of way that that make people feel good. Like, hey, if I put data into the system, it's enhancing my experience of the real world.
And so you feel like, so you feel like there's a physiological, like that there is. I mean, obviously there is. You're right about the dopamine hit.
Yeah.
But you feel like that's actually fundamental to what you're doing. That you want people to feel this sense of hey, this like visceral sense of hey, I've got something or I accomplished something.
Yeah, no, it doesn't need to be down to like the chemical level of it, but this. I always think of Foursquare as like we should be able to make, these little guides that live in your pocket, like a guide to the city that basically has all the knowledge that your friends have about all the places in the world. And that wherever you end up bringing your phone, that guide can come to life and say, hey, these are the things that you need to pay attention to. And so it doesn't have to be like one of those one-player rewards, like a badge or a mayor mechanic, right? But those might happen all the time. But as long as I can be someplace I haven't been before, and Foursquare can surface a little bit of information for me that helps me understand that place or make my, my 15 or 20 minutes I spend in that place a little bit more interesting. I think that's really, like, no one's really done stuff like that before.
Right. And
we're showing that when you do it, like, it works. It works pretty well.
So you talked about putting data into it and kind of sort of incentivizing people to put data into Foursquare.
Yeah.
We have a video, and I don't know if we can cue this up or not, but it's you guys posted this thing, which is the map of guess check-ins during the hurricane. Do we have this up? So this is it. You can see the dates going by there. And you can see all of this activity literally move out of the lower part of...
Actually, I haven't even seen this yet. This is kind of awesome.
You haven't seen this? It's really crazy because you can see the migration. Can we run that?
Play it again, play it again.
Can we run that one more time? So you can see there's a lot of activity downtown. And then...
Oh, that's rad.
Right? I mean, it goes dark.
Yeah.
The way the power does in a way, and the way people's ability to get down there. So this data is obviously very valuable. And I mean, you're using it for stuff that is like, hey, I love this bar or this restaurant. There was an article in The Believer, kind of a little bit of a mean-spirited Foursquare article where they said, they were kind of making fun of the idea that people say, it says like things like, people talk about mac and cheese in Williamsburg, which is very surface information.
Yeah.
Do you see that data is valuable? I mean, what we just showed is important. I mean, that's like a life-threatening situation. You guys are collecting all this information.
Yeah.
Are there other uses for that data? Are there other ways that you can utilize that data or that you can share that data?
Well, I think everything that you see going on in Foursquare now, like in our Explore recommendation engine, that's like all the magic that we're trying to deliver to people. Like we have all these folks that give us a little bit of information about what they do every day, like the types of coffee places they go to, the different places they go to in Williamsburg, different places they go to all over the world. And we take all those check-in data points, and we can start making these recommendation engines that are personalized to people. Like for the history of local search on the internet, it's always been, like if everyone here goes to Google or Yelp right now and we search for sushi, we all get the same results. Like that's broken. That's so super broken because we all have different tastes. Our friends have all been to different places. We all had different experiences. Like it's very clear that stuff is going to change.
You want that to be for a person, not just a generalized statement about.
The big thing that we're able to do that no one's been able to do before is be able to have personalized local search results for any person at any given point in time, right? So Foursquare search results are different depending on the intersection you're standing on, the day of the week it is, the time of the day it is. Like we can potentially get into things where it's like, is it colder than it normally is? Is it warmer than it normally is? Where do people normally go around these times? And so, you look at those check-in points there. And sometimes people look at Foursquare and be like, oh, it's cute, it's about points and badges and stuff. And like that's great that people get that part of it. But I mean that was 4 days of data up there, and that just shows like how Foursquare in New York is like a living, breathing type of organism. There's all sorts of interesting data that's being teased out of that. And it's our responsibility to take all those data points and use it to help everyone in this room and like everyone in New York, everyone in the world, use that to make better sense out of what's going on nearby.
Interesting. So we have to wrap up. Unfortunately, there's a lot more there's a bunch of questions that I didn't get to, but tell me about, do you see Foursquare as a company that IPOs? Like, are you a Facebook? Does this become a public company? Is that your?
Everyone asks us this all the time. Like, when are you guys going to IPO? How soon is it going to be? I tell you, it's like one of the last things that we think about, right? So our job is just to build the best products that we can right now. We've got just over 25 million users. Almost 3 billion check-ins, and in order to compete in the scale in which we're competing with, like we're one of the like, we're the smallest of the big companies right now, right? And so we've got to grow our audience, we've got to grow the business, we've got to figure out how to work better as teams and everything. And so if we figure out all that stuff, then those are the questions that we've got to start thinking about. But for now, it's just, you know, how do you build stuff that's better than the stuff we're launching today, and how do you build stuff that just people love using every single day?
Well, thank you very much for coming.
Yeah,
Dennis Crowley, everybody. You got to come back. There's a lot more we didn't get to. Stick around. Guys, you don't go anywhere, and you guys don't go anywhere. We have Paul went to Maker Faire, another wild trip with Paul. Take a look at this, and we'll be right back with the Polygon guys. Thanks.
It's gonna be a long, long time. I'm here at Maker Faire, which is kind of like a Renaissance fair for nerds. Well, you know, I guess Renaissance fairs are for nerds. It's like it's a Renaissance fair for makers. I'm gonna see what I can see, and maybe learn how to program in Python and build my own robot. I don't know, whatever. It's cool.
So this is Thummy Wars. That's the official name that was we came up with at the beginning of the 72-hour build-off.
So everything in here was built in 72 hours.
Yeah. We actually have two potentiometers. There's one in this thumb and one in this thumb. And there's an Arduino program that's basically monitoring those two potentiometers and determining whether or not there's a pin based on the threshold and the amount of time that the thumbs are down. So
you did the 1, 2,
1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thummy war, yeah. And then basically
a thummy war?
Yeah.
So nobody says that.
Yeah.
Are you really that bad? Yes. Dude, it's so cool. When I was coming in, this kid with his dad, like I skated past them, and he's like, whoa! And then like, I was like, wait for it. It's like, he's got a skateboard! I felt like just like a superhero. I was like, that's right, I've got a skateboard. Oh dude, we got a straight, okay, can I go all the way?
Go ahead, crank it. It'll do like 4 miles an hour right now.
Yeah! Oh my gosh. Is this like the primary expression of what you do?
Yeah, absolutely.
Outside of blogs?
There's nothing better in the world than taking something up here and then transforming it into reality and having everyone enjoy it. It's the best feeling in the world.
Can you power slide in this? Get some blue sparks going? Well, you've transformed relaxation
into reality. And then just kind of position yourself between the cars.
Oh yeah. I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, no.
You know, I've gone to the relaxation town.
I'll just yell stop if somebody's like going to be about to be impaled. So
is this in? How do you turn?
You'll figure it out.
Oh yeah.
We're out of Portsmouth, Virginia. Yeah, total East Coasters. We're right on the ocean.
You rode this all the way up?
No.
You can't handle top speed.
We took an electric wheelchair, basically cut it up, welded a bunch of stuff onto the chassis, modified it a little bit, and now it has a hammock that's suspended in it.
This is so awesome. He said it can get up to 5 Gs. Each person has a dead man switch. Whoever lets go of the dead man switch first loses, obviously, but then it winds down. Has anyone died yet?
No.
Do you have a barf bag ready? Chad, it was nice knowing you. Oh my gosh. Totally fine the whole time, and then as soon as it stopped, my eyes were like spinning,
my eyes kept going.
I'm like shaking, and I'm like woozy. And
I actually want a hot dog now.
I want to do it again, really bad.
I'm not really into the spinning. That's how Goose died.
No, I'm having a lot of fun here, but I don't know, maybe I'm having too much fun. You know, America used to build things, used to go places. I feel like I should make something myself. Green LEDs. Everything needs soldering irons these days. I don't know how to solder. I don't own a soldering gun. I have so much to learn. This is the Raspberry Pi starter kit, which I've been told to get, and I don't know what this does, but it looks really cool. So I'm gonna try to build something with it, and you know, we'll see what happens. It's gonna be an adventure, and I could fall on my face, but that's what it's all about. It's discovery.
Yeah. The sad truth is that Paul discovered that you need to go online to use the Raspberry Pi kit and can't make anything with it. All right, I want to bring out our next guests. They are editors from Polygon.com, our new sister site that covers video games, I'm told. So please welcome Chris Plant and Russ Frushtick. Yes, yes. How are you? Out of order. Good. Out of order. Very nice. Have a seat. Be careful. Be very careful. Oh my God.
I'm terrified of
the irony. I'm telling you to be careful, then I trip.
That's what happens.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that happening? It just happened. Chris and Russ. Rush. Can I call you Rush?
You can.
Is that all right?
The dog from
I
Mega
hate your
Man.
name. Can I just tell you I hate your name?
Really? You hate the whole thing?
Russ Frushtick is the hardest name to say.
But you're doing such a good job at it.
No, but I just feel like I gotta try.
Did you know Frushtick is German for breakfast? That's how I remember it.
Is that right?
The first time I landed in Germany, every woman was like, Frushtick? And I was like, no.
I am hungry just thinking about your name.
Rightfully so.
Anyhow, so if you guys don't know, has everybody here gone to Polygon? Have you gone to Polygon?
Well, everyone?
You guys here are not clapping.
I see them too.
People over here not clapping. Do yourself a favor, okay? You're abusing yourself by not going to Polygon and reading their news. It's news. You got news, right?
Other things. We've got a few things.
Yeah, they cover video games. And actually, so you guys have been doing this thing called Press Reset, or Press Reset.
You know what? I don't want to judge how people pronounce it.
Okay.
I go with Press Reset.
Anyhow, they've been doing this multi-part kind of documentary about building the site, launching the site, and it is really cool. It's very cool. And we actually have a clip from the launch. This is like the launch video. Take a look at this so you get a taste of what they're doing, which is very interesting.
The best thing about working with these guys is I love competing with them, and they're my best friends.
The best part performing with these two guys is they keep me in line, and it's a lot of fun.
Describe our acting when we're hot.
Yes. Thank you. That was, let me just say, weeks of preparation.
You had some great moves.
We really were.
You had great moves up
months
there.
of preparation.
And and we will look at some press reset. But you guys had this. You had this big launch.
Yep.
You've been working on it for how long? How long had you been working?
Since January. It's pretty much when we brought the team together and brought everyone in and just talked about what we wanted to do.
Did anyone cry when you launched?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Chris Grant, he's a man of lots of emotions.
Chris Grant, is he here? Is he here somewhere? I think he's right there. There he is.
Bald man in
Are
the
you crying
hat.
right now? A little bit. Yeah. Let's talk. It's okay. You cover video games.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's talk about video games.
Okay.
Have you heard about this new Halo? Halo 4.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
What do you think?
I think it looks great. Mm-hmm. It's fun. Mm-hmm. But we were talking backstage.
I played it.
And you took issue with the fact that much of Halo 4
have you guys seen these Halo games? I mean, within 5 minutes, you're shooting aliens.
What do you look at? You're looking for diplomacy?
It just seems like just something a little bit more, you know?
Trade negotiations,
also,
perhaps?
Am I crazy, but are the Halo aliens like a little outdated now? They're pretty cartoonish.
Because those
like, little guys with like
voices.
the shells, and they sound like cartoon characters.
What would be more appropriate for our modern time for you?
I think if you had to do some diplomacy with the aliens.
Okay. Oh, yeah?
If you had to you immediately sat down at the table and it was just a lengthy conversation about how to work out your problems. You know, what if instead of a gun, you had like a, I don't know, a really advanced smartphone?
A bill? We can sign some bills?
Yeah, a bill. You carried around a scroll with in one hand and a quill in the other.
Yeah. The red team only wanted to get 40.
All right, okay, fine. Halo. Don't buy it. That's mine. That's mine.
Wow.
Opinion.
No.
Microsoft made an.
Did you review it yet?
We did review it.
What did you give? What did you give it?
What do we? A 9.5. It was a very positive review.
I give it an 8. Maybe.
Yeah.
An 8.
Wow.
No, a 0.8.
Oh, 0.8.
New Assassin's Creed. Buy it or don't buy it.
That's a bit of an issue there.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, apparently you need about 10 hours before you actually kill anyone in the new Assassin's Creed.
That sounds great. That sounds great to me.
Oh, so you love that?
There's lots of talking.
Well, I mean, I just think that can't we get somewhere in games? I know this is not your fault.
It is actually my fault.
I mean, you may be somewhat responsible. Don't you think we can get somewhere in games where the thing in your hand is not always a gun?
There have been games where like the thing in your hand is a flower, perhaps, or like.
What game is that?
Flower. Yeah. But to be fair, you play as the wind, so.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
This is true.
How about a game where there's
peaceful?
Okay, fine.
Civilization, you can be diplomatic.
Oh, don't give me this strategy game stuff.
I'm just saying.
What is your favorite game right now?
Right now, big fan of Dishonored.
Oh, Dishonored, I've been playing.
Good game, right?
There's parts of that game where you don't have to kill people.
But there's a lot of parts.
You don't even have to kill people.
That's true. You can make it through
Why
the whole
can't
game
they all be like Dishonored? I'm like an old grumpy Andy Rooney guy now. I'm like, what is all these games?
What are kids doing these days?
Why do you have to kill? I don't know what that voice is. So what is your favorite game right now?
I think probably Dishonored. XCOM is also very good, but that's a strategy game, and you don't like strategy games.
I do hate strategy.
And there's no diplomacy.
I like Need for Speed Most Wanted.
Really?
Yeah.
Driving.
We're going back to genres. You're like, I'm sorry. Strategy, out the door. Racing, maybe not. What is the genre?
My favorite game probably of the last, I don't know, 10 years is Fallout 3.
Oh, excellent game.
Yeah, you don't kill anyone in
No, you kill people.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love killing people.
Okay.
Okay?
Got it.
And I like to do it in real nasty ways.
Yeah.
I mean, just the other day in Dishonored, I was throwing people into the fireplace. After I'd killed them.
You didn't even have to.
I just piloted them up.
You can
I'm highly entertaining, by the way. I recommend if you're anywhere where there's a fireplace, just throw the bodies right in there.
That's awful.
But you know what? But I like games where you have to do a little bit of talking before you kill people.
Sure.
Is that, you know?
Yeah.
Get to know them.
Get to know them a little bit.
Understand what you're doing, and then murder.
And then give them a little
nice
something
meal.
right there. All right, we have to wrap up. Unfortunately, we have a very short amount of time. But we do have a real clip of Press Reset that I want to show you guys. I want to thank you for coming. I'm sorry that we have such limited time. I promise in the future that I will talk to you again. Not on the show, but I think maybe in person.
Maybe on Twitter.
At the office, perhaps.
Okay, water cooler.
But so give a round of applause for Russ and Chris. And I don't know I have no idea what happened there. It's like, that was just me bitching. And take a look. This is a clip from Press Reset. And you guys should go check out Polygon and watch all this stuff because it's awesome.
Today is day one of TGS, the only gaming convention where Wi-Fi is banned. I don't really understand how that's possible. Being in Japan, TGS is definitely a different beast entirely. There are many cultural and language barriers that Western members of the press have to get over. Can we move this up? It's good here. Good, bad. Good, bad.
There's something that I love and I dread about video game shows. The moment you get there, you're exhausted and you're stressed out.
It's just like a lot of process to just get me here.
And then the moment it's over, you're like, man, I really miss that.
Okay, yeah. Can we adjust this though? Because, I had never been to Japan before. I think before I went, I was envisioning a very alien experience. It was more grounded than I was expecting it to be. Why does it taste like that? Is it supposed to sound like that?
seriousness, I was very abusive to our guests.
Yeah.
And, oh, look, Paul and Nilay are back, by the way. I was very abusive to Russ and Chris, and I'm sure they'll never come back. But they are wonderful men, and the site is really awesome, and you should go check it out. We've come almost to the end of the show.
Let's point out that I brought a flag, an American flag, and a Lumia 920.
Two things that go great together.
And I believe that I am now immune to any sort of criticism.
Yeah.
I mean, while you're holding them. As soon as you put them down.
These things are tokens of immunity.
I think when I think of the Lumia, I think of America.
Right.
Okay,
Huge,
so
thick America.
So we're
weighty America.
We're
America that buys huge foreign companies without actually buying.
I'm from Wisconsin. I just mean a weighty America.
Fine, guys, I'll wait. Just carry on.
Okay.
It's not like we have a show to wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay, these people want to know who.
Trying to make jokes
these people
from,
want
like,
to
the middle
know.
of America.
They want to know what President Romney's / President Obama's policies are going to be, since since he has already been elected.
Yeah.
Okay. Final move of the night, everyone. Giveaways. Phone giveaway. We're giving away 3 Samsung Galaxy Note 2s. And we have one here in the box. I'm gonna unbox it right now.
Ooh, go.
Here we go. You ready? You ready for this?
Nasty Cessnote style.
Here we go. Hello? You know, this isn't that big, actually. I mean, everybody talks about how huge they are. It doesn't.
You have gigantic.
I have big hands, but look, I mean, basically, it fits in the palm of my hand.
A massive hand.
I mean, it covers the entire palm of my hand. Anyhow, so we're giving 3 of these away, and what we're going to do is we've got some tickets here with numbers on them. We're going to call your number. I have not been told how to do this, and we usually screw it up. Hold on a second. You don't have to come down. If we call your number, hang out up there, raise your hand, or scream, or do a combo of those things is fine. And we'll find you, and then we'll give you a phone after the show is over. Yeah. So we're just going to get started.
And then you'll like.
And just remember, if you don't win a phone,
draw cool pictures with the stylus that is included inside of the phone, and I love that.
If you don't win a phone tonight, you know, why did you think you were going to win a phone? Why do you think you're different than everybody or special?
Yeah.
You don't deserve it any more than anybody else in this audience. Just don't forget that, okay? Here we go. Who's going to be our first special person? All right. Oh, boy. The number is 477-895. 477-895. Right there.
Yeah.
All right. Don't do anything. Stay where you are. 477-895? You don't have to just stay in your seat.
Think about using a stylus on your phone.
Think about style.
Stay where you are. Think about it.
Think about how cool it's going to be. Here, go ahead. Go. Nilay, you're next.
S-calendar.
Yeah.
Scalendar. Snote. They got Smemo. Snote. Actually, I will say, I've been playing around with the GS3, which has S-Memo on it. Smemo. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I got to admit. I'm admitting it.
They've got some good ideas.
You got me.
All right.
Not just because the show's presented by Samsung.
No.
But mostly.
Okay. Here's this one. All right. Don't do that.
You pulled out 2.
These tickets were stuck together.
Well, are you picking one?
You got to choose one.
You have to choose one?
This is like...
Those could be the winners.
The election where you have to choose things and you have to choose.
Here,
you want me to flip it?
Grab
you want me to flip one?
No,
here, I haven't seen them. So one of these. Here, wait. I'm going to split them up.
Give me one.
Wait, you only want me to give you one?
Yeah. Just there you go. Give me one.
Are you looking at them? I feel like you're picking.
Using my X-ray vision. It's the one that ends in 0. I was wrong. 477-921.
Oh, what? Why is this section winning all the phones? There's a conspiracy. This is definitely a conspiracy.
Recount.
It's your phone?
Recount.
Well,
someone's stealing these phones.
Give me this.
The way the election was stolen.
Watch how quickly I'll pick something. Oh, look, I picked the ticket already. 852.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Boy, did we dodge a bullet. If a guy over here hadn't won a phone, we'd never hear the end of it. All right, that is our show. I want to thank you guys for coming. First off, thank you so much. I want to thank Dennis Crowley, Chris Plant, Russ Frushtick. I said it. And obviously Samsung for helping us put this on.
And America.
And Paul and Nilay. Go home. Spend time with your families. Watch the election results, which we already know all about.
Yep.
And we'll see you. Oh, November 20th. We're back. November 20th, we have another show. So come back. Thanks a lot, guys.